Hello and welcome back to the TapD demo series. I'm Hannah with Lightning Labs, and this is a series of short demo videos walking through how to use the Taproot Assets daemon TapD from install to mint to send to burn. And at this point in the series, we've installed, we've minted, we've transferred, and now it's time to burn some assets. And in this video, we'll do that via the API. So we will very quickly note the API docs. You can find them here at lightning.engineering/API-docs/API/taproot-assets. And here you can find all the information on all the API calls. We have gRPC and REST available, and there's all sorts of examples in both JavaScript and Python. I am working with the API in these examples. I'm working with the REST API using Python scripts. And in this repo, I have dumped all of the Python scripts that I'm using here to demonstrate the use of the API. So you can find that all here, but of course, most of this is just copy and paste from the API docs. All right, one more thing to note is how we are connecting to our node. In this particular example, we'll connect to this node, which we're calling the Bob node. So we need to note where that's located on the internet and what port we're using. And we also have to go to that node and make sure that port is open and ready for communication. And then on my local machine here where I'm running this script, I have copies of the admin macaroon and the TLS cert so that I can appropriately talk to that computer. Cool. So with all of that out of the way, let's head over to our list script. And we won't dive too much into this because we've already talked about it many times in previous videos, but we're doing, lots of Python things here, pulling in Python libraries. This is where we're pulling in our connection information, all sorts of stuff happening here. But this is the interesting part. We're hitting this assets endpoint just to run our list script. We don't need to pass in any data. We're just making a very simple GET request. So to start off, before we burn any assets, let's just quickly have a look at what kind of assets we have on this node. So we'll run this script. Cool. We get all kinds of info. Let's have a look here. Not super pretty to look at, but we can see we have some API demo bucks. We have 10 of those. We get all sorts of information, which I won't dive into too much. You can find all the details in the API docs. All right, so we can see that we do currently have 10 API demo bucks. So let's clear that out and we'll go burn them. And to burn them, we'll run our burn script. Okay, so here is our burn script. Again, we're doing all of our usual Python-y things and we're pulling in our settings information. But this time we're hitting a different endpoint and we're hitting the taproot-assets/burn endpoint. And we're making a post request and we have to give it lots of information. In this case here, specifically what we need to give it is the asset ID to be burned. So we could grab that out of that last script that we ran, the list script that also includes the asset ID, but I am cheating here as I already have it on a notepad. So I'm just going to paste it in there. And now we need to tell it how many assets to burn. I'm going to go with just 5 here. Cool. Also note that we need to add this in here, sort of a safety feature to make sure that we definitely do want to destroy these assets because that's what's going to happen. So we're going to save this and we'll run it and see what happens. Awesome. So lots of things happened. Let's go have a quick look. Cool. We get all kinds of information. Again, we're not going to dive into the details of all of this here, but we can see this returns a ton of information, which no doubt will be very valuable to us. It tells us all about what has happened. Cool. The amount that we burned there, we can see is 5. Awesome. All kinds of stuff happened. Cool. So let's clear that out. And we'll go back to our list script because we want to run that to confirm that indeed those assets were burned. So we're back at our list script, but it's important to note that when we burn assets, that's an on-chain transaction. And so our new balance won't be reflected until there's a confirmation on-chain. So we'll be back in a moment with the magic of editing and show you the new balance. Okay, we have an on-chain confirmation. Let's run our list script and see what we now find. Cool. So we have an asset listed here. Let's see, it is still API demo bucks, but now there it is. Now our amount is 5. So we did indeed burn 5 of our API demo bucks. Awesome. Okay, so to recap, what we've done in this video is demonstrate how to burn assets using the API. As always, you can get more information at docs.lightning.engineering, and I'll see you next time.